Hello everybody, welcome back to another one of these vids because I just keep finding things that are leaving me with a real deep sense of humber out here. Alright, so first up on my list we have Sniff's Dead Dinosaur Perfume. Have you ever been at the gas station filling up your car and been like, that's the good shit right here? Well then this was made just for you, my child. Rejoice. So yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's perfume that's supposed to smell like gasoline. However, the manufacturer actually slipped a little extra in there to make the scent stand out a bit more. It says here on the BuzzFeed listing, it contains notes of gasoline, pink pepper, ginger, cedarwood, and magnolia flower, which was probably a very smart decision. You know, I imagine just going to a club just smelling like straight gasoline would probably get the bouncers throwing you out and a couple fire alarms pulled. Does anybody have Daddy Yankee's phone number? I feel like this would be right up his alley. The BuzzFeed listing said one reviewer called it funky but surprisingly wearable, which coincidentally is exactly what my cousin Throckmorton said about the talisman that I created for him. Ayo Throcky, I know you're watching this and I promise it's not cursed, okay? All the bad things that are happening to you in your life, you just suck. Alright, now you might be thinking, Echo, I really like gasoline, I love the smell of it, but I don't want to smell like it. Well, ya tu sabe, I've got you covered, my dude. I have a gasolina scented candle. I have multiple, actually. This is a surprisingly common product. So I'm on the Stinky Candle Company's website. This thing is $15 USD, and it says, at long last, the forbidden fragrance of gasoline is now ready to enjoy it whenever you wish, with no risk of brain damage. Hey, can I get the sauce on this last sentence right here? You know, a peer-reviewed study that I could look at, any scientific journals you could point me to? I don't know, man. I just have a little itch in the back of my anus that says you didn't actually put this through rigorous testing to check for that. I'm just kidding, yo. I highly doubt this would ever give you brain damage. I do want to know what this tastes like, though. I'd imagine anything that smells like gasoline is probably just an absolute experience once you get it in your mouth. You know, I don't really like the lid on this thing. A deep echo lore drop. At one point, I had to get like an endoscopy camera shoved up my nose. This is reminding me a lot of that experience, so I'm going to get off this page now. And if you're looking for something a little harder, you can actually get the race fuel and high octane varieties of candles. Both on sale, surprisingly, especially Mel's high octane. Bro, $15 for something that's $35 normally, that's a steal. Howdy y'all, phone microphone echo here, coming in to say, in the time between gathering the screenshots for this vid and actually editing it, a tornado decided to pay a visit to Mel's candle shop, and let's just say it was a very inconsiderate house guest. Now they actually have a GoFundMe set up, so if you have some money that you think you could spare, I encourage you to consider donating to them. And even if you don't have money but you live somewhere near Rolla, Missouri, they are actually accepting volunteers to help them out with IRL activities. So that's the entire update that I have for now. Anyways, here's to sending good juju to the Mel's Candle team. Alright, say you're not looking for gasoline candles. Well, I have you covered as well. Check this one out. It is from Dio Candle, and it's the video store candle. Gotta love that blockbuster looking graphic on the front. Now let's see what this smells like. Base notes: patchouli and sandalwood. Mid notes: popcorn. Now I'm sold. VHS box. Okay, now you're losing me a bit here. Top notes: butter, carpet fibers, dust, and sugar. This is starting to sound less like a candle and more like a chemical weapon specifically for those with asthma. How on earth did you make this thing smell like carpet fibers and dust? What chemicals produce those scents when burned? I mean, props to the creator. This is honestly impressive. Oh, and by the way, they have wax melts too if you're into that sort of thing. You know, speaking of popcorn, you know those garlands people put on their Christmas trees made out of popcorn and cranberries that you see? Well, there is a company called Scent Market that makes a candle smelled like those. You know, that honestly sounds like a pretty dang good idea. I want to know what other candles they have. Alright, I looked it up. We have first sip of Diet Cola. Sounds like a good idea, actually. Fresh slice of pizza. I would love to know what that smells like in real life. Flamin' hot chips, dill pickle, and country fair corn dog. I do love that they specify it is the first sip of Diet Cola. Regular cola and all subsequent sips, out of here. Get out of my sight, you filthy animal. Only the premium stuff here. I understand why it's the first sip, because when you pop that can open and it's just all of those gases just walloping you in the face, it's the most aromatic. But why specifically Diet? Does regular cola smell any different? Actually, you know what? I know exactly what this is. For some reason, Diet Coke specifically, people get addicted to that freaking drink. And then they start coping so hard, they're like, it's just like water.
Diet Coke is like water coming from my sink. Only it's better, more delicious than that plain old common drink.
So I can only assume this candle is made as like a Nicorette patch for Diet Coke. Alright, now the dill pickle and the flamin' hot chips one. Now, listen, I know people love their spicy chib, and I myself ate a couple zesty dill spears before I started recording, so maybe it's just a me thing, but I just cannot imagine lighting a candle specifically to make the air around me smell sour and or spicy. Especially the latter. Like, I've never dunked my head in a bag of hot Cheetos, but wouldn't that burn your nose? That sounds like something you would feel when you're twigging out on meth when your gums all start burning. I know these are gag gifts, gang, but I know for a fact there are genuinely people out there who think these candles smell good, and I'm worried for them. Oh yeah, and who could forget the country fair dog candle? Cause who doesn't want to smell ketchup and mustard once they walk into a room? Please tell me they did not put the scent of onions in this candle. I do not want to walk into a space and have my eyes immediately start watering. Actually, you know, all the people who have hot dog lovers in your life, I have the perfect gag gift for them, because they're going to actually use it because it smells good. It is this candle on Etsy. It's a little pricey for a candle, $23.19, but behold, look at this thing. I got that dog in me. Can I just say, this dog is like unsettlingly realistic. Like, I am actually intimidated by this sculptor's prowess. Now, the thing about Candle Loom that I'm going to give them credit for is that when making these candles, yeah, they look like hot dogs, but they're actually scents that, you know, sane people want to buy. Spiced gingerbread, pumpkin marshmallow, vanilla, even unscented if you feel like it. You know, they're not out here like, hey bro, have you ever tried to shove a hot dog into the back of your windpipe? And you know, they're not even the first company to make candles that smell like meat. McDonald's was out here for like the 50th anniversary of the quarter pounder. It was like, hey, we have a box filled with 6 candles and each one of them smells like an ingredient in the quarter pounder. You know, debatably, that's not even the weirdest thing in the box. Apparently in this thing, there's also some mittens where like 2 mittens are combined, so you have to hold hands with somebody to wear them, and also a 14 karat gold locket preloaded with pictures of the freaking burger. Oh, by the way, a little pro tip from me, not really. If you want an all-in-one burger scented candle solution and you also want to donate money to Autism Speaks, there was this White Castle scented candle that was made. You buy it and it would support Autism Speaks. Guys, I promise I'm not making this up. This is 100% real. You know, originally I was going to make a video solely dedicated to weird candles that you can buy just because there are so dang many of them. That's not what this video was, but let it be known, it was dangerously close to coming to that. Alright, so we're going to take a break from the candles for a bit, and so we can talk about the eau de parfums. Alright, so there's a French design house called Etat Livre d'Orange, and they have a scent called Sécrétion Magnifique for men and women. You know, there's only good things on the horizon whenever we start talking about secretions. Actually, pro tip, if you were in a failing marriage like I was, just tell your partner, hey bro, you want to secrete something? Boom, you're the next Bella and Edward. Anyways, you don't really need to know the ingredients in this perfume. I just need you to know that conceptually it's supposed to smell like blood, sweat, saliva, and semen. I promise you I'm not making this up. This is on the website. You spray it and it's supposed to smell like jizz. Now listen, to all of my fragrance nuts that have clicked on this vid, I know it's not like supposed to be a normal person perfume. This is one of those ideas that you create for the sake of creating it, okay? It's art. And I love weird artsy stuff like this. But that does not mean I'm not allowed to make fun of it. What on earth was the process like developing this thing? Like, the only thing that's coming into my head is somebody just jizzed into a petri dish and then the scientists all take turns smelling it like, yes, getting some faint irony smells in there. I don't know, as a guy who's made a little bit of art in his life, it's usually best to work with a reference if you really want to capture something. So I want to know, whose splooge did we use? You know, whose sperm cells were the muses that brought this to life? Or maybe it was like a team effort, you know, we had to get a large enough sample size so we could get the average scent of spunk. By the way, it says here, there's also notes of milk in there. I don't know about you, I feel like that's almost worse than the sperm, because whenever I've spilled milk in places, it's not a pleasant smell that stays behind, and that thing lingers. Albeit, I've never spilled breast milk before, so maybe that's a whole different beast. What on earth has this video become? Alright, our next scent on the chopping block is Anarchist A- by Toskovat. Now, this isn't like the last fragrance which is supposed to smell like human fluids, but the notes that this does have, the selection is just as peculiar in my opinion. Top notes: snow, didn't even know snow had a scent honestly, whiskey, and credit cards. We have middle notes of money, candle wax, and ink, and if your nose wasn't tripping out already, we have the base notes of precious woods, albinum sacra resin green, which is basically an all-purpose healing remedy that comes from trees, holy water, priest clothes, and of course the ever recognizable scent of a plastic bag. By the way, it says here on the website Fragrantica, the wood smells are by far the strongest thing in this bottle, so if you're into that, go ahead and pick one up. I would absolutely love to know what was going through the designer's head when they came up with this thing. This is like one of those crazy conceptual pieces of art. Like you look at it, you have no idea what you're looking at, but you know it's supposed to mean something. The best thing I can come up with, I've sat with this for a while, is maybe this is trying to tell like a story through fragrance. Like say we have an alcoholic and to fuel his habit he starts committing credit card fraud and he starts making a lot of money and then for whatever reason he starts journaling amidst candlelight like he's Edgar Allan Poe writing a poem and through that he finds a god and also plastic bags. Please tell me what you all think in the comments. I want to know your interpretations of this. Like, sincerely, I do. Alright, my next bottle that I have for you here is Eau de 61. And, you know, pretty normal looking bottle. I do like the color. Now, what does it smell like? Alright, according to the website Ministry of Scent, Comme des Garçons, which literally translates to like boys, launched their second anti-perfume. A deepening of the research into solid phase microtechnology resulted in the cloning of many more inorganic smells from modern day life. They're out here building like microscopic robots to make perfumes. Honestly, respect. How do I sign up to work at this place? These were mixed with natural materials to create a scent that's both comforting and hard to fathom at the same time. Alright, now I'm going to read the notes. Dust on a hot light bulb. Warm photocopier toner. Hot metal. A toaster. Freshly welded aluminum. The ink in a fountain pen. What's with all y'all trying to capture the smell of ink? Fresh pencil shavings. Wood and moss. Bay leaves and bamboo. White pepper. Hyacinth. And lettuce juice. You know, props to the perfumer. If they were going for hard to fathom, it's working on me. I'm having a harder time wrapping my head around this than the one with the plastic bag and the pre-strip. This is like if a Markov chain designed a scent. You know what's funny is like so many of this, like dust on a hot light bulb, toner, ink, pencil shaving, so many of these things are like office siren core. Like I could imagine if you just walked up to your local office siren and then just right up on her, that's exactly what she would smell like. But then you get stuff like freshly welded aluminum. Like that's just throwing me off. Also, to the perfumers in the comments, is lettuce juice a common thing to put in fragrances? Because I don't know, I feel like juicing something like iceberg lettuce and putting that in the perfume wouldn't be that much different than just putting water in the perfume. I feel like lettuce juice just ends up being water plus in that scenario. Or maybe they have a special lettuce I don't know about. Alright, so I know Mother's Day is in like 2 months, and maybe you're shopping early for her. I have something that she might actually like, assuming she's from Gen X. It's a candle made specifically for her. The description says, smells like Teen Spirit, which smells like Doc Martens and the girl with the most cake. By the way, they also have soap, in case you don't trust her around open flame. And if you have a child's birthday coming up, I have you covered as well. We have a candle for Gen Z. Smells like soft boys and TikTok. Say what? You're mystifying to the rest of us. You know, you probably should just buy them the soap on this one. A child shouldn't be around open flame at all. Alright, and now for something completely unrelated to candles and fragrances of any kind. There is a company called Meinl, and they are known for their cymbals. That people seem to be very happy with their cymbals. And you know what they also make? Cajons. And if you don't know what a cajon is, it's this little box that you play as a percussion instrument. You sit on it, and then usually it has both a kick drum and a snare drum sound built in. They're actually pretty cool, but I just need to get this off my chest. This has been brewing in my mind for far too long. So Meinl has been going a little bit cajon crazy, which coincidentally is the name of my next mixtape. And for a while now, Meinl has been making so many random, weird cajons and cajon-related products. Now, some of these I can understand the vision. Like this one, it's a cajon that sits in your lap. They call it the slap top cajon. And then they have what they call the bass boosters, where it's a cajon with holes in the front of the instrument so that you can hear the bass more. And these make a lot of sense to me. Where I started to have questions is I saw this thing that they have. It is called the Cocktail Cajon Kit. And it is basically if you took a standard drum set, removed the cymbals, and replaced every drum in the thing with some sort of cajon. Now, I am a complete layman, so all of the percussionists here, I'm asking you this question: in what situation would you use this? Like in your expert opinion? Because I'm thinking if you had a low volume gig, maybe you could use something like this, but they also make like low volume drum heads and cymbals that you can use, and they still sound like a normal drum kit, just quieter, where the cajones, they have a distinct sound about them. And assuming you're trying to get that cajon sound, you just want this thing. I feel like just playing it on a normal cajon would feel better because it's written for that instrument, that form factor. Like, I don't know, it just seems a bit overkill. The best analogy I have right now is you're trying to make Kool-Aid, but you don't want to stir it with your hands, so you just put it in the Cuisinart mixer. But honestly, the best use case I can come up with is like, say you have a drummer and they're used to playing a standard kit, and then one day, for some reason, they have to play cajon, so they pick one up and they just can't get their hand on it. So they decide, okay, if I can make the cajon feel as much like a normal drum set as I can, then I can actually pull this off. I imagine this is what that drummer would buy. But again, I don't know anything about drums really, so I'm hoping you people have some good insight. I would love to hear your opinion on this thing. Also, I want to say, if you bought any of these things, no hate to you, okay? Live your best life. I just really like finding funky things on the internet and pondering them. And honestly, I'm genuinely considering getting those popcorn wax melts.